What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gary, bringing you that review for The Flash, Season 8, Episode 5, called Armageddon, Part 5, the conclusion. Yes, I have been keeping on. I know I haven't been making videos about every episode, but I have seen episodes 1 through 5. So I'm gonna give you my review and my thoughts on this episode, and I'm gonna give you an overall consensus of what this 5 episode story arc is. So they give you because I think I only made I made a video for like the first episode, but I didn't make one for episodes 2, 3, 4, but it will be 5. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the synopsis. The conclusion to Armageddon presents an opportunity for the Flash to end his lifelong battle with Reverse Flash, but the payoff could be too much for Barry and the team to handle. Mia Queen drops in from the future looking to save a lost loved one. So, this episode was also, the Mia Queen part, I want to say this was done to try to garner up some type of positive reaction for the stories that was trying to have. I think it was for the what was called, it was supposed to be called the Green Arrow and the Canaries, and this was done to try to garner up some of that, to see if people still might want to see that, so we could still see if we could get that off the ground. And that's mostly, besides her being there for a Green Arrow, it's, a Green Arrow superhero in it. No, you can't have a crossover having some form of a Green Arrow in there, so that's why she was here. She was brought here to be the Green Arrow of the crossover. But yeah, this episode picks up from episode 4, where if you remember how episode 4 ended, with Barry just talking to Joe on the phone, but you didn't hear nobody. You just, oh, thank God it's your voice, Joe. And, it ends, you see the cliffhanger with the Reverse Flash saying, I'm not ready to die yet, and you will be the one to help me. And so this episode picks up right off of there, where we actually do get to see Joe on the other end. Now it's from the Joe's perspective. He's like, yeah, Barry, I'm here. What's going on, Barry? You sound okay? And then whoosh, and he just go in there and hug Joe. And Barry, Joe's trying to figure out what's going on with Barry. And he asks Barry, Joe picks up on, he like, Barry, did something happen? And he was like, yeah, Dawn. And then he proceeds to tell him what Thawne did. And he tells him Thawne created a reverse flashpoint and basically, trying to make him look like he was crazy. And basically, he took bits and pieces of his life until he basically changed time permanently. He basically changed time to where he was the Flash, and all that. He explains all this to Joe. Joe finds out that Joe finds out that this, in actuality, this whole time he's been dead. But thanks to the Flash, because he through the Flash's own memories and story, he found out that after the events with Godspeed, Thawne basically killed him, and basically was messing with time, and he basically tells Barry, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm here now, and you saved me, you saved everybody, you here. And this also continues where Barry ends up telling everybody what's going on. I think he told Joe first, and then he eventually tells the whole team what Thawne did. Why at the end of that episode he was acting like he hadn't seen them, or if something happened, he tells them what Thawne did to change time, and that they realized that Barry just undid a reverse flashpoint. Iris, I think Iris was mortified to find out that she, in this reverse flashpoint, she was about to marry Thawne, and that she was like mortified about that, because why wouldn't you be, Barry's greatest enemy is, you was about to marry him because he went and changed time. and everybody felt a little off and jaded because it was like, how would you feel to know that that even though Barry reset time, you think everything is normal, you find out that everything wasn't normal a couple of minutes ago. A couple of minutes ago, it was this other timeline, and Barry, we only here at this moment. We just like to us, we've been doing all this other stuff to get to this moment where we talking to Barry, but in actuality, this moment just appeared here for Barry. And that's what everybody had to deal with. Everybody just like, okay, so they want to know what the other timeline was like, and what happened or whatnot, and but it's not over yet. It's not over yet. And the way I like how they did this crossover, every episode had 1 to 2, like, because due to the pandemic, they had to do things differently. Instead of having everybody could join in the episode, and every other episode they had people in the episode. Like, I think for Alex from Supergirl, she was in like the first couple of episodes via just screen, and then she was actually in person. I think for episodes, it was either episode 3 or 4. She was in person. But yeah, this episode deals with the fact that what happened. Then we get to see why this is not over yet. Thawne reappears, and he attacks people at GCPD, and this is done to draw the Flash there, and we get to see, you get to see why the Flash has been, he explains why he's doing that. I won't spoil why, but he wants something from Barry. Because if you've seen the previous episodes, you know that Barry is about to fade out of existence. Now that's about to happen to somebody else, to the Reverse Flash. So Reverse Flash wants Barry to help him with that. I think I just told you guys why. I said I wasn't going to tell you guys why, then I told you guys. My fault. But yeah, he basically wants Barry to save him from blinking out of existence. And this leads, before I spoil anything else, this leads to, events happening. For the Mia Queen part, she comes there because she's trying to. She's coming there because for them, basically this point in time in the crossover actually conjoins with what we saw in that backdoor pilot for the Green Arrow and the Canaries, where William got captured, and we found out that after that happened, where William got captured and everything, she's basically been like we thought was searching for William, and that led her to coming back to this moment in time, and she came back in time to where the Flash just saved basically her and everybody else, and she came back to find out why what happened to William. So we see that mostly for her part, she's still investigating investigating the events of the what was possibly be what would have been the Green Arrow and the Canaries, and that's mostly what her involvement is. She's trying to figure out to get answers, and she ended up getting tangled up in the events of Armageddon. We see the oh man, I forgot the dude's name already. The villain, or the guy, Despero. Okay, I was about to go try to look at it, but then I remember it was Despero. We see Despero. Basically, he confirms that with Barry. He confirms Barry's notion that the future is safe, but he says that something has to be done because Thawne could mess it up again, and he could bring about Armageddon. And a battle, this leads into a split conflict. This is what leads into the conflict of what the synopsis was saying, where the Flash and them has to deal with the notion that they actually have an opportunity to be rid of the Reverse Flash for good. And the reason why is because since I told you why they need to save him, the reason why they is because he's blinking out of existence, because the timeline is set. When he, I guess it's explained when he reversed time. When he undid what Thawne did, he submitted a single timeline, and this mean that Thawne is about to be erased permanently. But there is a way to save him. And this leads into conflict because they don't with Joe and mostly Joe, because everybody, they wanted to make a decision as a family, and everybody made even Barry went one way, and Joe was the other way, and this leads into a heart to heart, because when Joe hears this decision of what they're going to make, this pisses Joe off, and this leads Joe to a heart to heart talking to Barry, and does getting the fatherly sage advice that Barry needs to hear. But this also puts them at odds with Despero. The final battle with him ensues. A final confrontation with Thawne ensues, and basically the happy conclusion, and a payoff. The Flash costume, a Flash costume payoff. If y'all haven't seen the spoilers or anything, there is the payoff for the Flash costume. Finally, he gets a key missing piece. And for me, it was by the person I thought was going to get him that key. Everybody's been giving him bits and pieces to get him to what we know, or close to what we know as the Flash costume. And then we get the person who gives him this final piece that he's been missing is the person I thought would give him this final piece. So, and there's a reason why, there's the way they do it. It's a reason why he need that final piece. But in all, what I have to say in all this, the conclusion of this, what I want to say before I leave you guys, is that in a sense, or what this crossover, this was the better redo of the Flashpoint Paradox. Remember how we got the Flashpoint Paradox earlier, in the season. We did get that earlier, not in the season, in the series. Earlier in the series, we did get the version of the Flashpoint Paradox, but it wasn't it wasn't done in a way, because if you all know from the comments, Reverse Flash is a key villain in the Flashpoint the Flashpoint Paradox. So, in a sense, the Armageddon crossover is basically that. We basically get to see a more comic book accurate version of the Flashpoint Paradox, complete with Barry having the Reverse Flash costume and everything. That they actually, from just like in the comments, you get to see Barry zoom in and zoom back, try to prove to them who he is, only to realize the costume he got on is the Reverse Flash costume. It's nice that they gave Thawne a new costume as well. I think the way how it went was they knew that after all these iterations of the Flash costume, Thawne didn't have no new iteration, so they finally gave him a new iteration. So yeah, they gave him a new iteration of the Flash, Flash costume, complete with with the complete look with the red boots and everything. So yeah, that you get to see the complete set, the complete more comic book accurate Reverse Flash, along with Barry Allen and the Flash. And this whole Armageddon was basically the Flashpoint Paradox done right. Even though in the show they called, Thawne said this was his Reverse Flashpoint. His Reverse Flashpoint was basically the more accurate closed Flashpoint Paradox, complete with, instead of Batman, Damien Dark. Damien Dark was basically the Batman of the crossover, and you get to see him have a little, is a payoff for him and his daughter. I think Nora was the last guest character. The two guest characters was Nora and Mia for this. Nora, Mia, and Damien for this episode. But yeah, you get to, it was good. If I give this episode anything, I gave it I gave it a 10. I gave it a 10 big ups because this was very well done. I enjoyed the crossover, and I just can't. We gotta wait now until probably January of 2022 to see the continuation because we got a hot next episode with another returning character. But yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, this episode was good. You know, I enjoyed the as a whole. Like if I were to give the whole episodes, you know, from 1 through 5 of this whole crossover gets a big 10 because, like I said, the story that they told, they did it right, and I like it. Given the pandemic and everything, they still was able to give you that crossover feel, even though they had to do the crossover with the other characters in each episode instead of all of them being in the same episode. They gave it to you in different episodes with different people, and it was cool. But yeah, but let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode 5 or the crossover as a whole. And if you enjoyed this video, then hit the button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews, and especially reviews for Flash and that Spider-Man review. I know y'all just seen that because y'all coming over for here, hype. But yeah, for all my reviews, and if you enjoy the channel so much, you want to support the channel, guys, all you have to do is hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, become part of the tribe, this tribal family I'm trying to create, and hit that post notification button so you get notified when I drop videos or community posts, all that. And it's all for free. It's all for free. I'm here to entertain you. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I got that wrestling review coming up for you. Review. Peace.